Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, lifting restrictions. Governor Newsom announces a plan to fully reopen California's economy. We're breaking down that plan to get back to normal and what it will look like in Kern County.
Dozens of local employees are waking up this morning with the threat of losing their jobs. The reason the Taft City Council voted to close its correctional facility, and why the mayor is calling it a bad decision.
Plus, a wild pursuit ends with the arrest of one of the Golden Empire's most wanted, who's also accused in a deadly shooting in Oildale. How it all came to the end with the help of a brave semi-truck driver. This is Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. And good morning here at 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. And yeah, we have really been enjoying the spring weather lately. Yesterday, I just went outside and I laid down on the grass.
Soaked up the sun?
Yeah, bring it on. It feels so good.
So here's the other issue, though, is we've got the great temperatures. It really does feel like spring, but it also feels like spring with the allergies.
I can hear it in your voice as you're saying that.
Yeah, I was going to say I need to take my allergy medicine. I know a lot of people, though, are dealing with the allergies. Kev talked about this yesterday, about how everyone's looking at that allergy index because we're all feeling it. And Kev joins us again this morning talking about our forecast. And yeah, it's just that time of year, Kev, with all the allergies.
Yeah, it is that time of year, and we're going to see high levels again today with the pollen. So if you are an allergy sufferer, you're going to be dealing with it again. Let's take you outside and show you what we've got going on right now. We've got clear skies around Bakersfield. We may see a few high clouds today, but that should be about it. And as we take you downtown, take a look at the temperature, 55 degrees, so a mild start for you. No winds to talk about this time, and it is back. Let's talk about our dog walk forecast. And this is my dog, London, and you can see throughout the day looking very nice by 5 o'clock near 80. So we're in the green zone, which means safe walking. We'll keep an eye on that as we warm up throughout the summer months. And as we take a look at Tehachapi right now, 46, a west-northwest wind at 10 miles per hour. And the only area where I'm seeing some stronger winds is over the Grapevine. So if you're headed south, keep that in mind. And as we take a look at the hour by hour, plenty of sunshine throughout the day, and we'll be looking at the upper 60s. More weather to come in just a little bit. For now, back over to you.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. Your time now is 5:02, and breaking overnight, a woman was killed in a suspected DUI crash in Northwest Bakersfield. It happened just before midnight on Calloway Drive and Tumwater Avenue, just south of Hageman Road. Police say a car was on Calloway when the driver made a left turn into a neighborhood. That's when the car crashed into another driver going north on Calloway. The woman driving one of the cars died in the crash. The other driver was not seriously hurt. BPD says speed and alcohol appear to be factors in the crash.
It's something Californians have been waiting for more than a year now, and a year ago seemed so out of reach. A full reopening of our economy. Governor Newsom outlined a new plan that would get rid of the tier system in about 2 months' time. 17's Ileana Capeyan joins us in studio to break that plan down for us. Ileana?
Maddie, since the start of the pandemic and lockdown, we've been waiting for the return to normalcy. During a press conference on Tuesday, Governor Gavin Newsom gave an update on the vaccine rollout, but most importantly, outlined the state's next steps moving beyond the blueprint for a safer economy. On June 15th, California will fully open its economy if 2 criteria are met. If vaccine supply is sufficient for Californians 16 years and older who wish to be inoculated, and if hospitalization rates are stable and low. Once these criteria are met, everyday activities will be allowed and businesses can open back up with common sense reduction measurements.
The masking is going to continue. We know they're going to continue to encourage vaccination. Testing remains a vitally important tool for us as we continue to navigate through this pandemic.
Today, California had administered more than 20 million COVID-19 vaccines. That's as of yesterday. Kern has administered 321,055 vaccines.
We're feeling really good about the way that our community is responding to the COVID-19 vaccinations that are being offered. Currently, we have estimated 12.7% of all county residents have become fully vaccinated. We feel like that's fantastic considering we've just opened, many more categories. Even last week, 50 and older, now anybody can. So we feel like this is significant. We feel like this is something that should continue to even progress.
Meantime, this week, Kern County has met the orange tier metrics for the first time. In order to move down to the orange tier, we must meet the metrics for a second week in a row, which means if numbers continue in this downward trend, we could be moving into the orange tier as early as next week. Now, it's important to note Kern County is not in the orange tier just yet, and the state's full reopening of the economy will not take place until June 15th, at which point the county plans to follow the state's guidelines as they have throughout this entire process. But this is a step towards progress.
This is absolutely a light at the end of the tunnel. This is not a time to forget everything we have been through together, right? So wearing those face coverings when you're in public, avoiding large gatherings. And if you are gathering, do so carefully. If outdoors, that's the safest to do. And, the exciting news is you can gather indoors with your masks off if you've all been vaccinated. So I think that's just another thing that encourages folks to get that vaccine.
And we will continue to monitor the progress in Kern as we inch closer to reopening the economy in California. Alex, I have a feeling Bakersfield will continue trending on social media as vaccines continue to be available to everyone 16 and older. In studio, Ileana Capellan, 17 News.
All right, Ileana, thanks so much. Meantime, we continue to inch near 1,300 deaths in Kern County since last March, with Public Health announcing one more life lost in yesterday's update. 63 new cases were also announced, bringing the total to more than 106,000 cases. Right now, 52 people are in the hospital, 13 are in the ICU.
Both Pfizer and Moderna are in the midst of trials testing the safety and efficacy of their vaccines in young kids. It's an important step, health experts say, in beating the pandemic. NBC's Sarah Dolph reports.
Okay, 2, 3.
Nearly 2 weeks after rolling up their sleeves,
All done.
9-year-old twins Alejandra and Maricel Gerardo, the first participants in Pfizer's U.S. trial for kids under 12, are doing well.
They're feeling wonderful. They've not changed their activities at all.
Their parents, both doctors, enrolled them after studying the vaccine's safety profile in adults and discussing it as a family.
Other than asking a couple of questions like, will it hurt or what else will I have to do and things like that, they never really had concerns.
Duke Health is one of 4 medical centers conducting Pfizer's phase 1 trial on kids ages 5 to 11. Soon it will start including those as young as 6 months, a critical step, say health experts, in reaching herd immunity.
Children make up almost a quarter of our population here in this country. If you don't vaccinate 25%, if you automatically discount 25% or near 25% of the population, then it really will become more difficult to achieve protection.
Last week, Pfizer announced its trial of teens 12 to 15 showed the vaccine was 100% safe and effective.
It really is encouraging to know that, that it worked in this age group.
Moderna is also testing its vaccine on young children. Johnson & Johnson plans to eventually do the same.
These are awesome.
Meanwhile, Alejandra and Maricel are scheduled to receive their second doses later this month.
I hope this empowers them to understand that you as an individual can make a difference just beyond yourself and your family.
And hoping it inspires other families to get their kids vaccinated when the time comes. Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
Also on the vaccine front this morning, new evidence suggests that protection from Moderna's coronavirus vaccine may last for several months. Researchers looked at samples from 33 people who were taken. Those samples were taken 6 months after those people had received both doses during the phase 1 trial. And they found antibody activity remained high in all age groups, although the levels were lower in those ages 56 and up. The scientists say there are ongoing studies to monitor the immune response beyond 6 months, as well as to determine the effect of a booster shot that could extend the antibody response and protect against emerging variants.
In your 17 Health Watch, Adventist Health Bakersfield is offering free breast exams screenings later this month. The event takes place on Friday, April 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Adventist Health Breast Center on Chester Avenue. The center encourages people to be proactive with your health and schedule a free clinical breast exam screening. You can call 637-8101 to register. Welcome back. Your time now is 5:20 and making headlines around the nation. The use of force by police and how much is necessary was the key question yesterday at the murder trial of Derek Chauvin, the former police officer charged in the death of George Floyd. Prosecutors drilled down on use of force policies, calling the officer in charge of use of force training to the stand. The officer said using a knee on a subject's neck is not a training procedure, but that it isn't unauthorized when using force. Prosecutors asked the officer if the procedure would be authorized for someone who is under control and handcuffed. The officer responded saying it would not be authorized. Meantime, police and military investigators are searching for a motive after a Navy corpsman shot and wounded 2 sailors at a Navy office in Frederick, Maryland yesterday. Minutes after the shooting, the 38-year-old suspect breached the gate at Fort Detrick, where he led police on a chase and later brandished a weapon. Police shot and killed the shooter. One of the victims shot is in critical condition. The other has been released from the hospital. While the victims and the suspect all worked at Fort Detrick, it's still unclear whether they knew each other. A wild pursuit in the Southland yesterday that ended with the arrest of one of the Golden Empire's most wanted, who is also accused in a deadly shooting in Oildale. The CHP told our NBC affiliate, KNBC, they were in pursuit of a murder suspect. The pursuit led law enforcement through Riverside and made its way through the San Gabriel Valley and Diamond Bar. It finally came to an end in Pomona when a semi-truck drove in front of the truck driven by Michael Caleb Reed.
Wow, into that semi there. Airbags deployed. Sorry about that, Micah. But this was going to be the end of the pursuit here.
The U.S. Marshals confirmed to 17 News that Michael Caleb Reed is the suspect who was arrested in Pomona, about 30 miles east of Los Angeles. You can see him crawling away from his truck after it crashed into the semi. The driver of the semi said he pulled out in front of the car to block the driver's path, but he was surprised Reed didn't stop.
I saw him running around, so I blocked it. But I didn't think he was that stupid to hit me. He hit me pretty hard. He gunned it.
Like this, he's going to go right against that truck.
Reed is accused by the family of 40-year-old Michael Lewis of killing him at a home on Harrison Drive in Oildale on March 28th. But he was wanted by the U.S. Marshals on a charge of carjacking and felony evasion. 17 News called KCSO to confirm that Reed is the suspect in the Oildale killing, but we're told any information pertaining to that will be released later today.
Meantime, a man is hospitalized after a shooting outside an illegal marijuana dispensary in Bakersfield. This was the scene at Cottonwood Road and Cannon Avenue around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. When deputies arrived, they found a man in front of the business with at least 1 gunshot wound. He was taken to Kern Medical in critical condition. Detectives say the business he was found in front of was an illegal marijuana dispensary operating from a blacked out storefront. Deputies say they found various marijuana-related products inside. No information on the shooter has been released. Now to a rising problem here in Bakersfield and Kern County, catalytic converter theft. Bakersfield police need your help identifying a suspect accused of trying to steal one. This happened back on February 6th on Crosswind Way near Panama Lane. BPD says the suspect tried to steal the catalytic converter and ended up damaging the vehicle. Catalytic converters contain precious metals that are sold on the black market. The suspect is described as a man 30 to 40 years old with long black hair and a ponytail. He was last seen driving a white 2003 Lincoln Continental. If you have information on either of these crimes, call police at 327-7111.
The Taft City Council voted last night to close the city's modified community correctional facility, which will put dozens of employees out of work. This comes as the city's contract with the state ends on May 31st. The council voted 3-0, with 2 members abstaining due to a potential conflict of interest. The mayor and council members blamed the state, with Mayor Dave Noer calling it a sad day, adding, "It is a bad decision being made within government and Sacramento." Staff may consider reinstating certain positions at a later date, but for now, the council voted to delete 75 full-time staff assigned to the facility and an additional 9 part-time employees throughout the city. The facility currently holds about 300 inmates. In education news, the Kern High School District is allowing more students to return to in-person instruction. As of yesterday, all students with mild to moderate disabilities who have not yet returned to the classroom are allowed to do so. Next Monday, all senior class students can go back to school. And on Wednesday, April 21st, all freshman students can return. And then a week later, on Wednesday, April 28th, all sophomore and junior students can head back to the classroom. The district says distance learning will remain an option. Kern High School District is scaling back its free meal distributions. Meals will now only be given out on Mondays and Thursdays. This comes as the district works to bring students back to campus. There will not be a distribution today. But on Thursday, families with children ages 2 to 18 are invited to pick up free meals from 1 p.m. till 2:30 at KHSD campuses. More details and the full distribution lists can be found on our website, kget.com.
It could take years to make up lost learning from the pandemic, but your teen can get a head start this summer. Bakersfield College is having weekly workshops to help high school students enroll in summer college courses. Students who plan to enroll at BC can earn up to 7 units this summer semester. These workshops will be on Zoom every Wednesday starting April 17th. We have a link to register on our website, kget.com. But if you want to learn more about the early college program, go to bakersfieldcollege.edu. President Biden switching gears today from COVID back to his jobs plan, pushing lawmakers to get it done.
Yeah, but what comes out of Congress could look very different than what he's pitching. Tracy Potts has the latest.
Maddie and Alex, good morning. Good morning, everyone. The president, after making vaccine announcements yesterday, is turning his attention today back to infrastructure, his jobs bill. Some Republicans don't like calling it that. They don't think it'll create jobs at all.
Low-income, uninsured.
President Biden switching focus today back to his jobs bill, infrastructure, defending a 28% tax on corporations to pay for it.
Here you have 51 or 52 corporations of the Fortune 500 haven't paid a single penny in tax for 3 years. Come on, man.
If we can figure a way to do a paid-for, arguably more modest approach, I'd be open to it, but not what I think they're peddling.
The Democrat in the middle, Senator Joe Manchin, predicts what comes out of Congress will likely look a lot different than the president's plan. 3 bills, not one, with a lower interest rate and no Democrat-only votes.
So we're going to have some leverage here, and it's more than just me, Hoppy. There's 6 or 7 other Democrats that feel very strongly about this.
Some argue child care belongs in this plan.
If women don't have child care, parents don't have child care, they can't go to work just as much as a worker who can't go to work if they don't have a road.
Child care, roads, internet, housing, and politicians deciding what's infrastructure and what's not. Some families and individuals looking for work still don't have their stimulus checks that were promised by the end of March. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.